team drowned in the shadow of more villainous heroes and brash personalities. The team deemed unworthy of their spot amongst the greats. The team the world and the West left behind. Fnatic. They are Europe's forgotten heroes.
Approved picks that I will strongly influence us to play.
Wait, Ares is
5
strongly
pick.
approved.
Yes, Ares is strongly approved.
It's also surreal. A Western team sits patiently as they await their opportunity at Ultimate Glory. A feat that even they once considered impossible. It was just 1 year ago, in 2017, when Fnatic was in disarray as 4/5 of the roster was lost to the offseason. Perhaps the most damaging was the departure of longtime team captain Yellowstar. Fnatic, which had struggled with middling results for the last few splits, decided to revamp their roster. On one hand, building around veterans, and on the other, hoping to strike gold with young talent. Amazing was eventually replaced by another young player, Broxa, but the roster changes failed to bring about meaningful results, as there were a lot of growing pains, especially with their extremely talented but inexperienced mid laner. Growing pains continued to patch themselves as the year went on. The summer season brought about a much more dominant Fnatic in the regular season. But this time, their lack of experience playing together in high-pressured playoff environments was their undoing. They were eliminated from championship contention and had to settle for being EU's 3rd seed representative for Worlds. And Worlds could not have started worse.
How we got here, because that is a Rift Herald in the middle of Fnatic's base at 20 minutes. Khan can cut through these towers in an instant. Fnatic are out of options. They've got one last chance, one opportunity to try to seize a fight, but there is nothing in their wheelhouse. There is nothing in the toolkit. All they see is Nasus in front of them. This game is Warrior Khan farming it up and bringing it.
Holy moly. That was a steamroll. We got shit on.
The team began 0-4. It was looking like a performance for the ages for all the wrong reasons. Or so we all thought.
He's trying to get the game. Fnatic 1-4, the knockdown Immortals. They needed to win, and they have done it.
Immortals and keep their quarterfinal hopes alive.
Until Clutch Optimus forced the shockwave the way, but has to go in, and there it is.
Whether it was sheer will or unquestionable talent finally stepping up, the team came back to win all their remaining games in tiebreakers. Of course, you only get so many miracles. But despite Fnatic's quarterfinal exit, there was a spark there.
Something happened, so the lift did not want to go down, and I guess the show is somewhat scripted because we're not even allowed to go on stage.
What time is it right now?
So
It's 3:50.
yeah.
So
If this happens tomorrow, it's a bit unlucky because then I guess IG wins because we will never even be able to play a game. But no, we'll see what happens. Hopefully we can actually get onto the lift tomorrow and be part of the show.
Or an ult, you know, on the entire stage.
Did you hear this? Imagine there's like an order sign ult,
Yeah.
and you can just hear it everywhere in the stadium.
The entire stage hears the globals.
Yeah, it would be
Really insane.
It's like the entire stage just shakes when the ult happens.
It would be really insane.
Adding Hylissang and substitute top laner Bwipo had fans optimistic. Hopefully the team could build on the previous year's successes and grow to become a true contender. And they did. After a mediocre start to the season, Fnatic took off. Hylissang's decisive playmaking, Brox's mechanics, Reckless's consistency, Soaz's leadership, and of course, Cap's usurping perks as the best mid laner in Europe. All these dominoes dropped at the right time, leading to a dominant first place finish in the regular season. A hand injury sidelined Soaz in the playoffs, catapulting Bwipo into the starting lineup. And you could argue it only made things better. The team decisively eliminated the talented Vitality, and in the finals, they dismantled the competition. G2's stranglehold on European League of Legends was forcefully removed. Every front of G2 was breached by Fnatic's unstoppable offensive. A 3-0 sweep was the result. After a long drought, Fnatic were the rightful kings of Europe, once again.
Fnatic have done it.
Having won the split, Fnatic gained the opportunity to attend MSI for the first time since 2015. Their legendary run in that tournament reignited expectations. Group stages went by as Fnatic managed to secure crucial victories to keep in the running. And in the final tiebreaker against NA's best, Team Liquid, Fnatic played immaculate League of Legends. The team roared into the playoffs against semi-final opponent RNG. Royal, and their AD carry Uzi, had been a particular kryptonite of Fnatic and Reckless for some time now, thinking back to last year's World Championship. The upgraded Fnatic roster wanted to right away past wrongs, but today was not the day to do it.
Xiaohu putting the damage on the Nexus turrets. They're still able to look for more into the fight as they proc the GA onto MLXG. He's gonna look to be taken down here, but instead the damage comes through. Fnatic's members will fall, and RNG will win the fight. Reckless, critically still alive, trying to make a last-minute stand. Ming is taken low, Letney's taken low, MLXG hammering down on the Nexus, but that is game, and RNG will move on to the finals.
The roster's first taste of the international stage drew to a painful close. How do you process it all? Some decide to stare into their cell phone screens, parsing through the various news stories and fan reactions to the team's meteoric rise to the finals. Others joke with each other, attempting to keep the mood light. Anticipation permeates the room. The summer split arrived, and with it, monumental changes to the game. Patch 8.11. It moved the marksman role away from traditional AD carries, and Reckless struggled. So much so that he voluntarily stepped down from his long-held position, citing he was a detriment to his team's chances in his current form. For 6 weeks, Fnatic shuffled players and allowed Bwipo to start from the bot lane. Patches came and went, and after a lengthy self-induced break, Reckless returned.
Are you the new camera guy?
Just in time too, as the team regained momentum and ended the season in first place. Despite all the substitutions, player swaps, and internal concerns, the team continued to succeed. They entered the playoffs as a favorite and made good on those expectations. Misfits were sent home in the semifinals, and Schalke was no concern either. Fnatic defeated the starry-eyed rookie finalists and secured yet another European title, the organization's 7th title. The mojo had returned at the right time, and now the world's best await. The 2018 World Championship, the year when everything was up for grabs for the first time in what felt like forever. Korea was at its weakest in years. China had stepped up immensely, producing multiple strong contenders, and Europe's Fnatic finally had the talent to compete. Slotting into Group D, the Western Hope faced off against NA's 100 Thieves, LMS's G-Rex, and China's second seed, Invictus Gaming. The first two weren't particularly threatening, but IG, they weren't your average second seed. IG had torn apart the LPL in both summer and spring, and they were arguably the best team all year, except for 2 nail-biting series against RNG. Although they had weak points, their solo laners in Rookie and the Shy were the best in the world. And their young AD carry was only just compared to the great Uzi even before he played a single game in the LPL. A tall mountain for anyone to climb. And Fnatic climbed it twice. After splitting their initial best-of-1s, Fnatic faced IG once again in a tiebreaker match to determine the first seed of the group.
Jackalip kites away.
they don't get a whole lot. Invictus, and none of the health bars are yet low, but Caps is fine in the front line, gets the shield, and now it's time for the turret to fall, as Vowland drops as well. 5v4, only the Nexus has defense itself as Duke pops the stopwatch, but he's sure to go down. The knockup and a double kill for Caps. The kickback for Broxa, make it 3, and a 5 versus 1. Jackie Love versus the world, and he simply cannot do it. And Fnatic will fell Invictus. They will take the #1 seed into the quarterfinal.
The incredible second day here for Fnatic. They run the gauntlet. They take down IG not once, but twice. And they end the game in emphatic fashion. The fountain dive and the triple kill for Caps.
There is not a lot more you can ask of Fnatic in this year. Back-to-back EULCS champions. They fought a team that was one game away from winning the LPL.
Against expectations, it was Fnatic that solidified themselves as superior. They moved on to face EDG. Edward Gaming was a tough test off the bat. Another battle of China versus Europe. One that had favored the former for a little while now. And after game 1, maybe more of the same. Fnatic wasn't going to stand for it though. Their spark that had first glimmered at their last World Championship began to burn brighter and stronger. Win after win after win until the series was over. Finally, they conquered. Finally, they were back in a familiar position. The semifinals of Worlds. Only this time against an unfamiliar opponent, a North American opponent. The Battle of the West was upon us. Reddit buzzed and talk shows running hours of content, all engorging themselves in the spectacle that was about to unfold. Two of the most storied franchises in Europe and North America fighting for a chance to become the first Western team to make a World's Finals since Season 1. Season 1's World Championship finalist and winner was also Fnatic, so no better time to follow in the footsteps of your predecessors. Fans were on the edge of their seat from minute 1. Ganks here, outplays there. It was a sight to behold, a sight to experience. Maybe one that you'd never see again in the modern era. And through it all, through the wreckage and rubble, the team consistently finding the winning play was Fnatic. Unshackled and unbounded by previous expectations, taken over by the greed of lifting victorious medal, they ended the Battle of the West. Minimal casualties and a conclusive victory. Europe returns to the League of Legends World Championship Finals. The vibrant opening ceremony draws to a close as player introductions begin. Fnatic embraces the roar of thousands of fans in the stadium and across the world. They await the adversary, a familiar foe. Their final gambit with Invictus Gaming begins. Think back to the end of the group stage. In the tiebreaker match, IG suffers defeat at the hands of Fnatic and heads into a quarterfinal matchup against pre-tournament title contender, Korea's KT Rolster. The Monster LCK squad features superstars and legends in almost every position. Coming in as the second seed, IG was expected to put up only so much of a fight. But in this meta, a meta constructed to prop up solo lane expertise, Invictus Gaming became the Titans. The shy and rookie rained terror down on the favorite KT. They took a commanding 2-0 lead in the series and were a hair's breadth away from a 3-0. KT fought back with the substitution of the shy in Game 4 and returned the series to a stalemate. But Jackie Love's coming-of-age moment put the final nail in the coffin.
Shy's still gonna be soaking. Root comes down, damage goes through. Jackie's able to find 2 big kills. Jackie Love just found everybody, and that's gonna be a triple for IG. They're gonna find everyone.
With the momentum gained from eliminating the tournament favorites, IG proceeded to eviscerate their semifinal opponents, G2, in a bloody 3-0. This was a different team than the one Fnatic defeated in groups. This was a team riding all the momentum, all on form, with a meta perfectly suited to their nigh incalculable strengths.
Today, and both of those series went the full distance. For IG to then beat their opponent now 3-0 is a hell of a statement, and they look ferocious going into that ultimate match. Bottom lane than he does around his own lane because he affects the team so well.
Yeah, exactly. It's been about his movement around the map to take his advantage to help out the rest of the team. We shall see now as we are moments away from starting off game number 1.
The teams load into the rift, and the steady crescendo of the fans' chants for Fnatic and IG grows. Hopes for the West's best were at their highest, but it was clear early on that something was dearly wrong. Those same strengths Fnatic had relied on were no longer strengths at all.
This item, as a first item, costs significantly less than most other items will. Caps now going to be CC'd. Broxton making his way towards the fight. Ning looking to go in, jumps back, able to find the stun. Caps going to be taken very low. Hextech Ultimatum comes out, but it's first blood.
It was IG that struck first. Second,
Issue that Hextech Ultimatum. Flash already going to be used. Caps trying to get himself away, but he's brought down for the second time this game.
third, and fourth.
But Jackie Love has already found himself that mark here as well. Blitvo's taken down by Ning. The Rift Arrow goes their way as well. And IG have won themselves another fight. Here's Ning. Caps and Brox in some trouble now, wanting to get themselves away. Stun comes through. Ning's going to be only held at bay for a moment.
It was only one game in a 5-game series, but it was an understatement to call it a disappointing defeat. It was a damning one. Attempting to rebound, Fnatic elected for a more traditional composition. Brox on his Lee Sin, which had dominated the tournament up to that point, and Reckless on the mobile Ezreal. But all the preparations in the world could not account for the IG onslaught. Every one of Fnatic's defenses broke, in the lane, in the mid-game, and in whatever late game there was. It was clear, at this point, IG was better than Fnatic. Much better.
Scatter the weak to the wind as a double kill for Jackie signals no chance for Fnatic. Brox and Hillsong will run away into the bottom lane, but Ning is in hot pursuit. He finds a hit on a Broxa, who gets himself away underneath the turret, but will it be enough in time? The shy continues, the stun is down, the double kill is through, and Invictus Gaming are annihilating Fnatic.
Game 3, desperation hit. With their backs against the wall, Fnatic elected to substitute their veteran top laner Soaz, who had largely stayed on the bench at Worlds. The team hoped it would reignite a spark, that out of nothing, it could chip IG's armor just a little. For a moment, Fnatic did manage to make a few chips, dents even. Reckless, in particular, the face of the Fnatic franchise, had his best game of the series and finally made an impact. Unfortunately for him and the rest of Fnatic, their time had run out.
With the rest of IG, Reckless is down, Brox is away, IG are on the Nexus. The LPL has never won before, but that will change today. The Crownless are finally king, and Invictus Gaming are your 2018 World Champions.
Pin drop silence and devastated faces follow. Fnatic in the West had never suffered a loss as bad as this in years. Before, Western teams could only hope to win a single series and take baby steps. But Fnatic leaped, convincingly, all the way to the finals. They were closer than anyone before them in the modern era, and now they were sitting there realizing it was over. It wasn't long before their run to the finals was called fraudulent. The general sentiment began to grow that KT, the team that took IG to 5 games, was the true second best team. But this is incredibly unfair. Fnatic legitimately beat IG twice in groups to earn their seemingly easier path to the finals. And the team that KT faced may not have been the team that Fnatic did. Is it possible IG leveled up throughout the tournament after playing multiple best of 5s? All it takes is one on-form or non-on-form player to swing the tides of a series one way or the other. It's impossible to conclusively state that Fnatic was not the second best team at Worlds, considering how well they played throughout the tournament up until their last series. And beyond that, why not celebrate them for paving the way? Before 2018, it was unthinkable to expect a Western team to appear in the finals, with the legitimate expectation that they might win. But Fnatic did that. A team of homegrown talent with excellent synergy, confidence, and playmaking did that. They paved the way for legendary teams to follow, and gave rising stars the confidence that they might one day reach that mountaintop too, and avenge their fallen comrades' defeat. Fnatic may have lost that day, but they ignited a burning hope within the West that will live on forever.